we have to apologize because our guest, our intended guest, the musicians, the actors from Nigeria couldn't make it today. They cancelled, but we have even a better guest for you. We have the publisher of African Abroad here in New York, Mr. Alex Kabba, joining us via the phone. Alex Kabba, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you.
So let me start with the news about the attempted rescue of hostages in northern Nigeria. What do you think about what happened, the mission?
Well, I think the attempt was a very good one by the Nigerian government, even though it didn't go too well. But it's a good thing for the Islamists to know that there's a force coming against them. So we shouldn't leave them to be operating with impunity, without any response, with behaving like people who don't have spine. So but I'm very happy that the Nigerian government has now realized that Boko Haram are the main business, so they should not be treating them with a kid spoon or giving them the treatment as if they were not a major force.
Are you not worried that foreign forces came into Nigeria to save people who were kidnapped?
Can you repeat that again?
I said, are you not worried that foreign troops had to come into Nigeria to rescue kidnapped people?
There's something new in collaboration between countries. It's happening all over the world, especially as we know that terrorism and the movement of Islam towards this militant Islam. There have been collaboration between countries, especially in the security network, to help curb it. And in Nigeria, this is a new problem for Nigeria. So I don't see anything wrong if the Nigerian government collaborates with foreign intelligence services to root out this menace called Boko Haram.
Now, there was this report that they are denying that they were not involved. Do you believe that?
I don't believe that, because that's all the hallmark of Boko Haram. Kidnappers will not hold somebody for such a long time, and I understand that when they went to kidnap this British and Italian citizen, they were a lot of money in the apartment, but these Boko Haram people actually after them were not after money. So that's really give them the way that these are not ordinary kidnappers. These were people who are trying to Islamize Nigeria, because their aim is not money. I think they just want to introduce their own enormous brand of Islam, which is not the mainstream Islam.
Now, what is your take on the diplomatic flare-up between Nigeria and South Africa in the last few days?
Well, I think Nigeria has been turning the other face for a long time, and people just treat Nigerians with impunity. They make it look as if it is wrong to be a Nigerian in most of these African countries. And the successive Nigerian government have just turned the other cheek when they treat Nigerians in a way that really makes people to be so angry. But you see now that we are very happy that the Nigerian government has now said, okay, if you are going to start maltreating our citizens, we are going to come out and also do the same to you. So I'm very happy that things are changing in that respect. So it took a long time in coming, but we are very happy that it came, and Nigerian people now feel that we have a government that can respond to any maltreatment of their citizens.
Do you think it has anything to do with the way Nigerians behave, the way we are treated abroad? Does it have anything to do with behaviors of Nigerians abroad, or just that people don't like Nigerians because they're Nigerians?
Well, I don't think it has to do with any way the Nigerian behave. Nigeria don't behave differently from any way like an American would behave or a British would behave. It's just that some people just see Nigeria that they could maltreat our citizens and get away with it. It's been going on for a long, long time. And they feel that the Nigerian government does not care about our citizens. So if you don't care about your citizens, who is going to care about them? So that's what has been going on for some time, that you realize that they will treat Nigerians anyhow, and the consul general or the ambassador in that country will not even look at it. So they will not, so it's okay to treat them like this. So if you don't treat your citizens well, you don't expect other countries to treat them well. So I don't think that has to do with Nigerian behavior. It has to do with the way society Nigerian government has been regarding their citizens as if they are not important in the Committee of Nations. So it's not that they are now reacting against all these treatment of Nigeria, and that we now see that the country so that there's going to be repercussions.
Now, in the last 10 years, you've been publishing African Abroad here in New York, and you've been watching Nigeria from here. How do you assess the government of Jonathan compared to someone like Obasanjo?
Well, when I was in Nigeria for the election, the presidential election of last year, and we were very happy. I was in Ikeja. We were very happy, and I saw that Nigerians across ethnic lines voted for him. He had goodwill that was surpassed. That kind of goodwill was during the Abiola time, when most Nigerians voted for Abiola of all ethnic groups. It really happened to President Jonathan. And but that goodwill is gone now, because after I introduced the subsidy, the goodwill is gone. I really don't know how it came about removing that subsidy, considering the fact that these people that you say are getting subsidy are one of the poorest countries in the world. They may be rich in the Aso Rock and in Abuja and in all the ministries, but the people of Nigerians are one of the poorest people in the world. So if 5% of Nigerians are rich, what about the 95%? They are so wretched. You can actually wake up on the January 1st and say you are removing the subsidy without any palliative put in place, without anything. Even people in some village in Okonkwo, they won't like it, because everybody is rich in Okonkwo. So that's really made many people to think that this president, that we really were so happy that he became president, and that we feel we can move forward. How can he come and start hurting our people? So that is why many of us began to question his sincerity in saying that he didn't have shoes, that he grew up poor. So we don't know whether it's because he has become rich now that he doesn't know what it means to be poor. I've lived in Nigeria. I have worked against military government. We fought the military government of Abacha, and we knew that they were stealing money. So we thought the civilian government things will change. You can't just come and make things hard for people if you are not going to make it easy for them. Don't increase their burden. So that's why we really we don't even know what President Jonathan is trying to do by budgeting billions of dollars and spending them with your ministers. All the money that you get, most of them are on the civil servants and on your ministers. This money doesn't trickle down to the people. Now you are coming to tell me now that you are subsidizing them. Subsidizing what? So that thing has really made many of us to not know the direction of Nigeria, the elite, and we don't know why they think the way they think. And the situation has arisen now in Nigeria, where the crime that used to be that if an armed robber comes to meet you and you give him the money, they will leave you alone. But now, because of the government's governance in Nigeria, the armed robbers and all those criminals, they will take the money and kill you, because they feel the rich are very, very unsympathetic to their plight. I mean, the rich Nigerians, they don't really care about the poor. I don't know why. I don't know what is it that is in government, and when they get there, they just forget about the people. So that's why you see all this kidnapping, all this armed robbery that has gone so wide, that has now become a big problem, because it has become a social problem in Nigeria, because the government does not really care about the people.
Now, you are from Delta State, if I'm right, and
I want to know.
Good. I want to know what you think about the guilty plea by James Ibori in a London court.
Well, we are very grateful to the London court. We are very grateful to London court and the disgrace of the Nigerian judiciary in freeing Ibori from a 170 counts of corruption, of popularizing Delta State, and the useless, I have not used that word, but the incompetent judge in Asaba. I will not mention his name because his name is beneath my name. It's beneath my name for what he did. And it's clearing that man. I don't know how you clear somebody who's a complete thief. So we are very grateful to the British judicial system for rescuing Delta State from this thief, a common thief who stole Delta State blind. When you go to Warri, the roads are so bad. I was in Warri in August. The roads are so bad. It is a disgrace that a Nigerian judge will see somebody who stole Nigeria, but all the evidence to the contrary, he said that this man is setting free. So we are very happy that the thief are now agreed as a thief. And no matter how much, he's going to go to jail. He's going to start even 3 days. Today, we know that he's going to become an ex-convict.
So what happens next? Are we going to hand over all our? We
are worried by the fact that this money that Bori has stolen will be returned to data state. Our worry stems for the fact that Governor Emmanuel Duagan is constantly there now. This money will go back to him. This is a governor that has not done nothing for Delta State. This is a governor that is continually punishing Delta State. Delta State is one of the richest states in Nigeria, but everything, there is no evidence of it in Delta State. So we don't know what Governor Duagan is doing with this money. This money, as he cannot account for. So we don't want this Ibori loot to be taken to Delta State. In fact, we don't know whether we should letter to the court, because this money, if you send it to Delta State, Duagan will also use it the way, or keep it for his cousin. So, because Duagan has not been able to come out to tell us all these billions that have been budgeted for Delta State, this special fund that Delta State as an oil producing state has been getting. What are you doing with this money? What is going on? Look at all the roads in Warri. Look at all the roads in Ugeli. Look at all the roads in Akko. Why can't you do some work on them? You know? So, he is busy using the money to secure his position and to store it away. But my warning to him is this: no matter how much you steal, we are coming after you. The people of the State are coming after you. Just like the way the Nemesis has not caught up with the boy. If he doesn't change his way and start making sure that the people of the state is the one that will be spending his money on. Look at Lagos State. Why will Lagos State be so concerned about our people? Mass transit, intra and interstate. Everything in Lagos State, they are trying to modernize it. There is a life that is being built now in Lagos State. Every day, Governor is trying to ensure that the governors get to the people. Why can't Governor Duagan do that? Why does he go about categorizing as a governor when people of the state are suffering? And it has gone to a level now where you can't even walk in Warri. That lobby is so vast. You know, by deploying the commissioner of police to Warri to go and handle it, that's not the problem. It's because you have failed to put these people to put them in the picture of governance. You just sit down in Asaba and waste the money on yourself and your cronies, while you leave the social services, the well-being of your people, you leave it out of your equation. You go and collect all this allocation on limited of behalf of Delta State, but we know that you don't even use this money for Delta State. So nobody anger that we feel that all this robbery, all this kidnapping, they are a symptom of a larger problem in Nigeria. If
things are that bad, how did he win the election? How did he win the last election? The British court has told us now that the Nigerian judiciary is highly compromised. After 170 counts against Ibori was dismissed in Nigeria, and it was extradited to the UK for Dubai, that same count, or the same that money laundering, corruption, looting the Delta State money, it was found guilty. In fact, the man came and said, I'm not going to go through trial. He actually did it. That's what the body said. So you can see that the Nigerian judiciary is the one that has been propping up all this illegality. If you go now and do the election 20 times in Delta State, Duagan, quote, will win, because he judges are in his pocket. So I believe that the judiciary needs to be reformed. The judiciary will have to be reformed. All this, if you have the NBA president who was saying that many of the retired judges are like the thief for the current and serving judges who will go and collect bribe on their behalf to pervert the cause of justice in Nigeria. So it's not only the executive that is having one problem with in Nigeria. Judiciary too have entered. So those are the full problem that we cannot have a functional democracy once the judiciary is perverted and the executive is really doesn't care. They can go and bribe the judges
And then they will, no matter what people say, no matter what the people voted for, the judges will not submit it. So we know that it's happening, but all those judges, the narratives will come up with them, carry with them one day.
Now, looking at all the situation in Nigeria, can you predict what you think will happen in 2015?
Well, in 2015, you see, some of us who fought to have democracy in Nigeria, when I say fought, we fought as well for it. Some of us are in exile. Some of us are not able to come back to Nigeria because of the fact that, all the logistics. And these people now have become presidents, they have become ministers, they become governors. Many of them don't even know how the democracy came about. You understand me? I said for a few, like Governor Adebeshola, Asiwaju Tinubu, and some of the governors of the Southwest. Many of these governors and many of these ministers, even the president, they don't know how democracy came about. So when you now talk of 2015, I'm looking at myself. We did 2011 presidential election in Nigeria. What has come of it? So when you are talking of 2015 now, and you are talking of another presidential election in 2015, I'm talking about myself. Okay, what is the benefit of these elections? Of this democracy to the people? Because that is the basis of democracy, to ensure that at least the government has gone to the people. But we have not seen it. So in 2015, if you want me to go in respect of whose source will it be to come and chop money at the federal level or at Asoro? Is that what we're going to talk about?
Well, anything you think will happen. Do you think, for instance, that the North will regain the presidency, or that the North will lose, that the South will retain it?
That is the problem that we have in Nigeria. People think that it is the region that is ruling that matters. It really doesn't matter which region is ruling. We have already proved that the Nigerian elite are very, very passionate, greedy people. It doesn't matter whether it is the northern elite, whether military or civilian, who rule Nigeria for almost 40 years of our independence. If you go to the north, they are even worse off. The people are so wretched and poor. You understand me? So, and the same thing too in the south. Is it General Okonkwo, the present president, who rule Nigeria, and if you go to Ota today, you will never know that our son was the head of state. Is that what you're going to say? So it's very difficult for us to be happy with the elite in Nigeria, the ruling class actually, because we, the subject or the people of Nigeria, we look at them and they start fighting. It should be the turn of the north now. It should be the turn of the east. It should be the turn of the south. Now, what are the benefits to the people of those areas once you get the power? So that is the north area. Another area, all these people from the north who are saying it's now their turn to rule Nigeria, what are they bringing back again to come and rule Nigeria? What are they bringing to the table? Is it the poverty in Suleja that I saw? Is it the poverty in Kano that has led to all this shooting of Islam and of Boko Haram? Is it the one that you want to bring again? Is it that because they have their fire block that they have stolen or they are looking to themselves, why the poor man in Kano and Kaduna are suffering? So what are they going to do with this power? Is it to get the power and just go and say, okay, I am not the head of state, while the people in your community are suffering? So we really have to re-examine ourselves and put people in power who are able to change things in Nigeria. Be they come from the moon, or they come from Sokoto, or they come from Lagos. It doesn't matter. It is what they can do for the country that matters. So all this clamor for the zone that people produce the next presidency is a small screen for all these people to continue their way of doing things as usual. We should not continue with that in Nigeria.
Now, let me ask you about Nigerians, Africans, or Nigerians in America. As a publisher of a newspaper for the past 10 years, how do you tell people who are outside the United States about the Nigerian in America? What's the state of the Nigerian or the African in America today?
Well, when Nigerian Americans in a year, I realize that they are also the same product of Nigeria. I'm talking of this generation of immigrants. They are it's the same class, the same division, the same way of doing things in Nigeria. That's the same thing to here. So I don't know. We really need to reorientate ourselves in Nigeria so that this thing called tribalism can be stopped. Because without that, Nigeria is just civil ourselves if we present as a country. Because the people there are really transformed for country. I really have seen very few people who can really say they are Nigerians. Many of us who are calling ourselves Nigerians, we are really not Nigerians. We are just card carrying passport carrying people who call themselves Nigerians. If you really know what I'm talking about, there are really people who are from different tribes who have tribal loyalties and pretend that they are one country so that they can become something and go to federal level. But in their own heart, they are really not Nigerians. They are just people who are from different kingdoms, and they have not had the opportunity yet. Because I have not seen that Nigerianness in Nigeria, a country where you will see people go to the north and they will say they are Nigerians and they will be hired on contract. Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
A medical doctor will go to the north, a Nigerian medical doctor will go to the north and go and want to work in the state in Kano State. They will put him on contract. So the same thing that Elijah Madubelu, the former premier of the north, said, is one famous interview that he did. He said that this is what he said in 1957, before I was even born, and it's still true of Nigeria today. He said that the BBC reporter asked him that if talking about Nigeria, that he felt Ahmad Bello felt that the country was marginalizing its people. So they said, if you were to hire people, or what would be the category of people you are going to hire? He said, well, you will first of all hire people from the north, and that if he doesn't see, after that one, if he doesn't see anybody again to hire who is qualified, he will go and look for expatriates. And if he doesn't get to hire perhaps in Nigeria, if he doesn't see an expatriate, he will now go for a Nigerian from the south and not put him on contract. So today, Nigeria is still like that. Nothing has changed. Nigerian government has not made any effort to create a country. The other part is they love division in Nigeria, so that somebody who is not even a Nigerian, they feel more affinity with them than their fellow Nigerians. You understand me?
Yeah. I
went to many parts of the north when I went to Nigeria. I see that most of their television stations are tuned to Saudi Arabia, to Dubai, UAE, Al Jazeera. No NTA, no channel television, no local television. All of them are true to the Middle East. And when you come to the south, at least you watch NTA channel and all that, and all those local television and also CNN. But the division you can see, some are allegiance to the west and some are allegiance to the Middle East. So the allegiance to Nigeria, we don't say it. So that is our worry for Nigeria, that you cannot continue to do this patch nationalism. You cannot be saying that, oh, Nigeria is a united country. By just saying it, you think it has come to true. No, that is not true. Nigeria of 2012, you still have a country that you call one. You still have people still living. They can't live free in any part of the country. You understand me? Boko Haram has given them notice to leave the north, like the southerners to leave the north, and many of them they are going back to the north, back to the south, and this vice versa. So, what kind of country is that?
Now,
we cannot live anywhere we want to live.
Now, we had this discussion, some of it with Dr. Sule Bello earlier on our show, and I asked him about national conference as a way out of this. Do you think there's a need for something like that, or there should not be?
There should be a conference. Definitely there should be a conference. I just told you that Nigeria pretend to be one while they are not one. So how do we resolve that? Do you think Nigeria is actually a one country? Are you kidding me? Is it because President Jonathan and President Sambo went to go and bury the late Kabba Ojukwu? Because that you think Nigeria is one? What what Ikemba fought for is still in Nigeria today. They just pretend that they are won because there's money. Nigeria is not won. You understand me? I know that. So you can't just say Nigeria is won because you said it. You have to live it. I have to be able to be free anywhere in Nigeria. So for you to say this is a whole country. I cannot say it is one country when I'm afraid to live in certain part of the country. You understand me? So that is what I now realize, that people, Nigeria is like brought together by force. You have to be together. But if they talk to each other, they will know the boundary, how to live. If they really want to be one country, let them be one country, because no country can pretend that they are one for such a long time without problem coming down the road. So the earlier that Nigeria sit down together and talk, let them talk to each other. You don't call it sovereign, just a national conference. Like, okay, why is it that the Hausa man, Igbo man, Yoruba man, and the Yoruba and the Edo and the Jukun, why down in their heart, why can't they regard themselves as brothers and sisters? Down their heart, when they are in their privacy of their house, why can't they regard themselves as one? It's not the pious postry that they do outside. That I'm in Nigeria, I'm to keep Nigeria one. It's a job about the done. It's not that. You understand me? It is the real one is in you. So one of our friends went to Rwanda, and from New York, he went to Rwanda, and he wrote the problem of the genocide in Rwanda between the Tutsi and the Hutus, where which led to a million people being killed because of tribal hatred. So when he got to Kigali, he was trying to ask the waitress, "Are you a Tutsi or are you a Hutu?" He didn't say, "I'm a Rwandan." He went and asked the waiter, another one again, "Are you a Hutu that you look tall?" He said, "I'm a Rwandan." So my guy was thrilled. He said, "Wow, so these people don't regard themselves in that term anymore." So they now found out that it was this division, tribal division, between the Hutus and the Tutsi that led to those genocide, those bloodletting that killed 1 million people. So ours have not got to that level, even though we kill 1 million during the Biafra war, but ours is a recurring decimal. We have not learned anything from the Biafra war. So what Rwanda have learned is that they now regard themselves as Rwanda first. In fact, they will not call themselves by the tribe. The Rwanda government is trying to give it into their people that this division led to that genocide. So they now said, when you have your child, it's a Rwandan, not a Tutsi, not a Hutu. So, but that is the government trying to create a country of one. Nothing like that is happening in Nigeria. You understand me?
Yeah.
Nigerians are more likely to say, "Oh, I'm a Yoruba, I'm a Robo, I'm a Igbo, I'm a Hausa, I'm a Fulani," than to say I'm a Nigerian. So it is where there's soccer or where they want to go and do politics and to make money to their pocket. That is where they are Nigerians. When there are other things to be done, if you look at it in New York here, I go to all these Nigerian parties. When you go to an Igbo party, 99% of them are going to be Igbo people. If you go to Yoruba party, the same thing too. And you go to Yoruba party too, the same thing too. Because I'm just giving you a summation of the people who are here, because other people are not very many here in New York. But it is the same mindset. We don't mingle. They don't mingle with each other. So how can you now say you are in one country? When you are living parallel life. So those are the things that I see in our country, that there's a big problem coming up in Nigeria if we don't arrest it.
One last question. If somebody, most Nigerian kids are desperate to leave Nigeria and come to America, as someone who's been here for a while and understand this society, if they come to you for advice, are you going to advise them to do whatever they have to do to get here?
I will not. You see, the problem is that you cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. If you have a university graduate who has finished university for 5 years and can't get a job, you understand me, in Nigeria, and he wants to emigrate to a foreign country, you think I'm going to tell him not to go? Of course he's going to go. I'm going to tell him to take it. You see, you are not going to stem brain drain by saying it, oh, we are going to stop the brain drain. We are not going to allow Nigerian doctors and lawyers, journalists to leave Nigeria again for foreign countries. Just by saying it does not solve the problem. When you see mass unemployment in Nigeria, people are going to leave naturally to go and do anything, to go and enter their position. So in Nigeria, the government has not been able to bring this private public sector where they will have people form companies, get great jobs. Not everybody should go and work in the ministry, have give loans to people who really want to create jobs in Nigeria, not the ones that we give loan to, like and then they go and use it to go and marry wives. Give loan to real entrepreneurs who want to create jobs, who want to form a company and create jobs. That's how you stem this brain drain that we are having in Nigeria. Even if I say this today, like, oh, I'm going to don't come home. Why would they listen to me when they look at themselves? They don't have no job. They have to go and meet their parents who school, who paid to get them to through the school to go and get basic money of survival. I'm not going to tell them if the Nigerian government is not really ready to think that our citizens are the most important asset that they have.
All right, Mr. Alex Kabba, thank you so much for talking to us.
All right, you're welcome.
Hopefully we continue this discussion and get you to come on our show regularly every now and then, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was an interesting discussion with Mr. Alex Kabba, the publisher of African Abroad here in New York. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll take some of your calls and round up today's show. Once again, you're watching Sahara TV. Okay, I've just been told that a South African musician is coming up after Skype, so stay tuned.